So let's talk about visualization and what's missing. I'm still in my pajamas. What's missing in visualization? So there are two trains of thoughts when it comes to visualization. The first train of thought is when you visualize, you leave a component of your visualization vague and open. You leave it vague and open in order for the universe to interpret and to bring it back to you in ways that you can't even imagine. The second, and we're going to talk about this train of thought. The second train of thought is that you visualize in a way where you are exact to a T to what you want to manifest. Because it is true that visualizing something is like putting an order into the universe, and the universe is to oblige to all of your wants and needs. It's the subconscious mind and the belief system that gets in the way of them, but we've talked about that before. Let's get back to visualizations. So, number one, the first type of visualization where there's pros and cons to it. I've done both, so I'll tell you what works better for me. But there's two types of, there's pros and cons to it. So when you leave your vision, and when you're creating your script, your story script, in a black hole somewhere, I don't know how you visualize. That's how I visualize. I visualize myself in the Godhead, which for me is a dark hole, and I begin to create a hologram. So within that hologram is the story that I want played out for myself here on 3D, but it's visualized in the Godhead, which is 9D. So the first visualization where you leave it vague, it works. And the way it works is because you're vague. So let's talk about the pros. Because you're vague about what you want, if you're in a high frequency, like when you think about what you want and in a really good frequency for a maximum of 15 minutes, Bashar says a maximum of 15 minutes, and then you're able to let it go in neutrality without any attachment. Yeah, the universe in sixth dimension. So if you look at the Law of One Tarot, I don't know if you can see it, that is transformation. When your visualization comes to the sixth dimension transformation, it will look at your script and give you things in ways, depending on your resonance, in ways that you never thought would be possible. For example, for me, all I wanted to do one year was test my creativity. I'm extremely scientific, always have been, and I never thought I was creative. I was in fact told by one of my high school teachers that I couldn't write worth shit. So all I wanted to do was to let go the left brain a little bit and allow the right side of my brain to be more creative. And I wanted to start connecting with the inner creativity within me because I knew I had it. This is when I started believing that I was creative. And a freaking book came out of me. A full-on kids book, which is damn good. I love the kids book that I wrote. It's such a great book for parents and kids. I had no idea that I could write a kids book. I had no clue. So when you do visualize and you leave it vague, and it's really important here that you feel good about it in a high frequency for no more than 15 minutes, then you let it go. And you come to a neutrality with it. And I was able to do that because I was like, oh, you know what? I want to be creative. That's it. And I was excited about the creativity. I would wonder, like, what is in me? How can I be creative? And don't forget, I was already writing blogs for years. I was making videos already for years, but I didn't see this as creativity. I just saw it as sharing knowledge. You can go on it's a WordPress website called Risky Business. And you'll see some of the blogs that I used to write, which are like, some of them are about 8 years old. I don't think I took anything off of there. In fact, I need to log back in. I've lost my password. But anyways, that is the first part of being vague. And it is absolutely necessary to let it go, let it come, and come to neutrality. So the second part of visualizing, and what is really important to do when you're visualizing, is if you are going to be in absolute detail about your visualization and how you want it to come to you, leaving no room really for the sixth dimension to play around with your story, then what you're going to really need to do while you're visualizing is you put your five senses into it. All five senses you need to. For example, for me, I want my book on bookshelves in stores where people can walk in physically. I want them online. I want to go in and travel like to different countries and do readings, read to kids and the parents. So I know if I want to be that exact in my visualizations, I need to see the book on the bookshelves. I need to hear the kids and parents picking them up and talking about the books. I need to smell what it smells like to be in a library, in a bookstore, in a building, in an old library type of building. I need to interact and touch, like in my vision when I'm reading my book, I to the kids, they're all sitting around me, and I'm able to like show them how their aura expands, and I see them doing it and giggling, and I like playfully just rub on their head. I feel their hair. Do you see what I mean? When you want something that is specific, and I mean, the five senses, yes, I'm putting a lot of specifics into my visualization, but at the same time, when I end my vision, I say in my, and may it come in the highest good, easiest path for me, and so it is. I always ask for the highest good, easiest path. So do you see the difference in the two visualizations? And again, for the second type of visualization where you want to be absolutely specific, add your five senses, but then also you do have to let it go. Any form of attachment to your vision will deter the vision from coming to fruition because attachment repels. Detachment attracts. And I talked about that yesterday, so I'll leave it alone today. Hope that helps. Love you guys.